Hey, John here from John's Do It Yourself. This is chapter 3 of building the sea chest. This portion is actually building the shadow display. We're not going to call this a shadow box because it doesn't have any glass in it, so it's a lot easier to build. So we're just going to modify it a little bit and add some handles to it so it's easy to remove out of the shadow chest. So easy build, let's get cutting.
So let me say first that if you have watched the other two videos, the building of the chest and then the building of the coin rack, you will notice that this portion of the project, the shadow display, was actually built before I started on the lid to the chest. So take your measurements from end to end and mark your boards accordingly. Make it a tight measurement. As always, you will magically lose a little bit once your cuts are complete. Start with your end pieces. Place one on each side of the box and space them 2 to 3 inches from the ends. This will allow you space for your lid hinges. Then measure from your cut pieces and cut the long ends of the box. If all goes well, you should have your shadow box frame tight on the front and back with a gap on either side of the edges. Now what will make this shadow display a bit easier than most shadow boxes is that we will not have to do anything for glass. And that's why I'm calling this a shadow display and not a shadow box. The only glass in this project will be on the chest itself. So cut your rabbet on the back of the frame and forget about cutting any glass groove like we do at this point during the building of any other shadow box. Now that your rabbets are complete, take a short and a long board and measure your rabbet distance. With that measurement, you have the dimensions of your back plate. I can't give you an exact measurement of what I'm doing here because I'm sure your frame is different than mine because yes, I am making this up as I go along. So at this point I thought to myself, it would be neat to create handles so you could remove the shadow display for easy access to the coin rack. So taking a look at the boards, my concern was that I had cut them to perfectly fit under the closed lid. So I could not add wood or change out the ends for larger pieces. I also could not change the positions of the rails on the chest because that would encroach on the coin rack and then the ability to place a helmet in the lower portion of the box. So I was taking a bit of a gamble here and I decided to just cut out the handles on the pieces I had. My only concern at this point was to make sure they were wide enough so you could fit your whole hand, and also they did not extend below to where the foam board would be above the area where your hand would slide in and be an eyesore. So taking that into consideration, I grabbed a hole saw and a straight edge and I drafted out my handles. Then with my hole saw I cut each end so the arches would be exact. Then I miter sawed it. I cut a straight line between the two holes. I did not trust my jigsaw cutting skills at this point. But then I cut the rest of it with a jigsaw just to make a match. So I did overcut with the miter saw. And then of course I take it to the router and I round out everything so it's nice and smooth and there are no sharp edges. Once you have your handles cut, you can take all 4 boards and sand them down. So I started with 100 and then 220 and finished with a 320. You don't want to go any heavier than that because then you have issues with your actual stain absorbing into the wood. So we will hit the corners once the box is joined together. At this point you can cut the ensign housing. This will be super easy. Your pieces will be the same as your frame minus the rabbet. Measure your flag and cut your pieces. I mean, like we've done this 100 times in other shadow box videos, so we're just going to breeze through this. Or so those were my famous last words. 2 things. The first was when I previously said that only glass would be in this project, would be in the shadow chest. Well, I completely forgot about the ensign display. So that was an incorrect statement. The second, and I know you all love these, I never edit out my mistakes. So yes, I joined the ensign display together without putting in my glass groove. So here's me catching it early and tearing apart my frame so I could take it back to the table saw and add my glass groove. So much for breezing through this. What an amateur. Okay, so this is me taking it back to the table saw real quick, putting in my glass grooves, and then of course we can repeat the steps that we just did previously. Now, I always cut a glass groove into the baseboard of an ensign frame. I think this is difficult and I don't recommend it. I would recommend you just cut a piece that will extend from base to base to hide the bottom of the glass. This will take you about 5 minutes to do. This step is considered overkill, but if you know me, I always like to take the long road. So what I do is find the center of the long board, and then using a square, I line my center point of the ensign frame. Once aligned, I mark each end of the ensign frame with a pencil. I take it back to a drill press, and with a routing bit, I route out the glass groove on the baseboard. Yes, I know this is bad on the chuck of a drill press, but I was lazy, and since my drill press was already out, I did not want to waste any time setting up a freehand plunge router. But I've done this before and it works just fine. With your ensign frame complete, you can just take a corner of a piece of glass, shove it up in tight, and then give yourself about 1/4 of an inch, the exact depth of your routed out area in your baseboard, put a piece of tape on it, and then cut your glass. And this piece should fit nicely. Now take all of your pieces and get them ready for staining. And all I'm going to do here is use the classic golden oak to bring out the nice grain of the oak wood. This time I'm going to use the paste stain. It's a lot easier than using the actual liquid stuff, and I think it does a better job. So after all your stain is dry, you can go back and actually join all your pieces together. Now what I do is put a little wood glue down, and I put a few staples on the outside. And I'll be able to staple these this time because they won't be seen, the corners of them won't be seen while they're inside the chest. Normally I don't use staples, or I worry about if they'll be seen, so I put them on the tops or the bottoms so they won't be visible to the naked eye when hanging on a wall. But here you don't have to worry about it. You can put them wherever you want. Just make sure you use a square the entire time and keep your box completely square as you do this. At the same time, go back, find the center of your baseboard, realign it with the square, and we're going to attach the ensign frame when we're at this point. Make sure you flipped it upside down so the rabbet edge is up. That way it's even with the top of the lip of the box. Then you're just going to put some wood glue down, make sure it's in place, and put a few staples. And ensure your staples do not go all the way through. Make sure you double check the size of your staples. I take 2 1/4-inch foam boards from Everything's $1 and I glue them together to give me my 1/2 inch. And I'm actually going to do 4 pieces here because this single piece won't make it all the way across. This is a pretty long shadow display. So I'm going to glue them all at once, put some weight on them, and then we'll let them dry. While the foam board is drying, I go back and fold the flag, put my plexiglass behind the top layer of stars like I do in all my videos. And this gives you an extra opportunity to double check and make sure there's no dust or lint inside the flag when you place it in there. So make sure it's good and clean before you seal it up. So on the back side, I decided to engrave my logo into the back plate. I'm sure the owner has no idea this is there. He probably won't know about it until he actually sees this video, because it's not in a place anybody's ever going to notice it. I go back and grab my foam board. It should be dry now, and all I'm going to do is slide it under the frame, and I'm going to use the frame to trace out what I need to cut. So just run the pencil along the perimeter, and then we'll do that on both sides. So make sure you break off a brand new tip on your X-Acto knife so it cuts through it with ease. But all we're going to do is use a straight edge, cut on your lines, and then you're going to go back to your box and make sure it fits nice and snug. And we're going to join them together at the top with a piece of black duct tape. Okay, and if you've seen some of my other felt jobs, you know this is going to be really easy since it's all straight lines. And no curves to deal with. So basically just spread out your Elmer's glue. Remember, don't use wood glue in case it bleeds through. Elmer's glue kind of disappears if you get a little bit of bleed through. You're going to spread your Elmer's glue thin. You're going to flip it over. You're going to put your display board onto the felt, and you're just going to make sure it's nice and smoothed out. And then we're going to just take some duct tape, wrap it around. You'll make relief cuts so you can just keep going all the way around it, and you can pull the display, the felt tight over the display board, and that should be good. Go ahead and place your back plate into the rabbet and screw it down, and just, not that it would ever happen, but you could put a couple of screws all the way into the ensign frame to give it that extra support. That way it'll never sag. But make sure you stay clear of the very tip. You don't want the screw causing the tip of your ensign display to part. So don't do it all the way at the tip. Then just go ahead and place your felt in. Make sure you put a hefty coat of wood glue down, and you can push in your felt nice and tight. And then the next step is to put in your shadows. The owner of this sea chest gave me a pretty big bag of stuff to go into it. So what I did is I laid out what I got, the best that I could. There's still plenty of room for him to add more stuff, so he can mix and match later when he gets it, and that's the whole purpose of the pushable display board. But all in all, I just added what he gave me, and we'll go stick it in the box and see how this looks. The last step is to just grab your display and place it back in the sea chest to see how everything looks. And I think it turned out great. So what we're going to do is have to revert back to chapter 1 so you can see the end of that video and the creation of the lid for the shadow chest. As always, thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And make sure you hit that bell for notifications of my next post.